day-to-day life we come across many physical quantities that are expressed purely by magnitude alone. For example, time is expressed in hours, minutes and seconds. Temperature is expressed in degrees Celsius or degrees Fahrenheit. Height is expressed in meters or in feet or in their subunits. Speed is expressed in kilometers per hour or miles per hour. Volume is measured in cubic meters or liters. Weight is expressed in kilograms. All these examples have one thing in common. They are just expressed by their magnitude. Nothing more is required to describe these quantities. Such quantities that can be expressed in magnitude only are called scalars. Now let us take a different example. Suppose you are at home and you want to go to school. If you are told that the school is 2 miles away from your home, will this piece of information be sufficient to reach the school? Actually not. Because the school can be hypothetically anywhere on the circle around home with 2 miles as radius. To describe the location of the school accurately, you also need to get another piece of information. That is the direction from home to school. Such physical quantities where both magnitude and direction are necessary are called vectors. So vectors have magnitude and direction. A direction arrow is used to represent the direction the vector. How do we mathematically represent a vector? A specific notation is used. A vector is represented as a line segment with an arrow at the tip. The beginning of the vector is called tail and the end of the vector is called head. The arrow points towards the head. If AB is the line segment, the vector is represented as AB with a small arrow on top. For example, AB and PQ are two vectors. If their magnitudes and directions are same, then we call such vectors as equal vectors. The magnitude of a vector is written as shown here. The magnitude is nothing but the length of the line segment. It is also called modulus of the vector. As said earlier, equal vectors have same magnitude and direction. Also note that the length of the vector is between the head and the tail. So the position of the tail in coordinate system is immaterial. Let A and B are two vectors that are equal and opposite. The negative vector is represented by prepending minus sign to the vector. If A is a vector and if we want another vector which is 2 times the original vector having same direction, we have to just multiply the original vector by a real positive value, in this case it is numeric 2. The new vector becomes 2A with the same of vector A. Scalar multiplication changes only the magnitude and not the direction of a vector. If a vector is multiplied by a real fraction, the magnitude of the resultant vector also reduces proportionally. Here algebraic multiplication is used. If a vector A is multiplied by a negative number, say -2, the magnitude of the resultant vector becomes twice the magnitude of vector A and direction of the resultant vector is opposite to the direction of the original vector A. A unit vector is defined as a vector that has magnitude of 1 unit irrespective of the direction. A unit vector in the direction of a given vector A can be obtained by dividing the vector A by its magnitude. Draw a circle of radius 1 unit with origin at the center. You will notice that a line joining origin and any point on the circle is a unit vector. Angle between two vectors is defined as the angle between the lines representing them at the point of divergence. In the diagram, A and B are two vectors and at the intersection point they diverge and pi is the angle between them. Since vectors are physical quantities, we should be able to represent them in 3-dimensional space. For example, a rocket going in space with a velocity v, this velocity is a vector in 3-directional space. The velocity vector has both magnitude and direction. In Cartesian coordinate system, I, j and k are conventionally taken as unit vectors along x, y and z axis. In 2D space, only x and y coordinates are used and z axis is omitted. This is useful in studying dynamic of physics quantities in two-dimensional spaces. Let us get one more step further. Suppose we have a vector A and we want to represent it in Cartesian coordinate system. What we need to do is to get the magnitude of the vector A. Then resolve its components along x and y axis. If the vector A makes an angle theta with x-axis, then its component along x-axis is magnitude times cosine of theta and component along y-axis is magnitude times sine theta. These components are represented as ax and ay respectively. Then the vector A equals ax times I plus ay times j. As an example, take R as a vector. Its components along x-axis is 2 and along y-axis is 3. Then vector R is 2i plus 3 joules. The same concept can be extended in 3D space. Get the component of the vector along each axis and use the standard equation of the vector. Let us get one more step further, and this time we shall get into algebra of vectors. Vectors cannot be added or subtracted like scalars. For example, 2 kg plus 3 kg becomes 5 kg in scalars. But the same principle is not true in case of vectors. A vector of magnitude 2 units and another vector of magnitude 3 units cannot be algebraically added because they have different directions. Here in the diagram, we have vectors A, B, C and D. If we have to add these vectors to get a resultant vector, we will have to arrange the vectors such that head of the preceding vector become tail of the succeeding vector. In the diagram, vector OD is the resultant vector. In vector algebra, subtraction is done by adding a negative vector. If A and B are two vectors, and if we have to find out vector A minus vector B, get the vector minus B and put it at the head position of vector A. The line joining tail of vector A to the head of vector minus B is the resultant vector. Magnitude of a vector is obtained by adding square of components along each axis and taking the whole square root. If A is a vector with ax, ay, and az components along x, y, and z axis, then magnitude of A is equal to square root of ax square plus bx square plus cx square. Theory of vector product is very vast and involved. Please watch the second part of this video for more details on vector products. We have come to the end of the video. Thank you for watching.